Volt, Ignis versus Wilchz, final match of round 4. I'm gonna say once again. And Wilchz picks Acropolis for round 1. Acropolis 2. Let's begin.
Ready, set, go.
Alright, Ignas gets to the blast first, blasts off Wilchz, and reaches the most valuable part of the spawn. Wilchz does come back and claim some of the remaining gems. He pops the Mega and gets another Mega in the process, takes the lead with the favorable spawn. He uses a Mega and quite effectively as it launches Ignis away, and he builds a very strong start, 13 points. Wilchz uses the super speed to reach the next spawn, thus increasing the lead. He gets another super speed. Ignas manages to catch up, only gets quite a few gems. Misses that red. And I'm getting we get the first blow of the game. Wilchz gets it. So far, it seems that despite his expectations, he's performing super well so far. He rams into the ball, and Ignis reaches his pawn first, grabs the 2 yellows. The game is there's 30-point. We have a 30-point difference already, and it's not looking good for Ignis. I wish Mega Marble him there, because otherwise that sudden Ignis wastes the super speed. However, the blue is closer to him. He grabs it first, and the lead has went down a bit, but not by a whole lot. Nice super speed from Ignis, reaching the spawn in time, but the lead has almost gone back to 30 points. The blue manages to keep Ignis in game. Ignis reaches the pawns first, gets Mega Marble by Wilchz. Gonna grab the blaster. Could have used it for this one. Ignis messes up movement-wise, and the lead is restored to, which is once again 30 points. Blue Super Jumps claims yet another blue for himself, and the lead reaches 40 points. Very nice super speed, I must say. Surprisingly, he's dominating. Wilchz pops Omega, which doesn't connect with Ignis. He uses both the Mega and the super speed, but oh wait! Wilchz blasts and manages to get the blue just in time. And the lead almost reached 50 points. Very strong performance so far. And it's likely that if he keeps this pace up, we might see an upset. Looking very dire for Ignis. Not sure that if he can recover this point deficit. Wilchz doing very well. He's playing aggressive. He's using super speeds. He's using blast. I think that's it. There's no way for Ignis to come back and recover this deficit. Wilchz once again Mega Mouse. And the lead has reached 50 points. And Ignas just gives up. It is to be expected that there's no recovering. Wilchz just keeps going, and we have 182 to 121 tournament. We are on parkour peaks. Wilchz hits the super bounce to reach the spawn. He gets a super speed along the way, tries to get that yellow on the red platform, fails to do so. He attempts to use the super speed to get that gem before Ignas. So far, Ignas is ahead, but not for long. Super well gets up. That spawn was in his favor, but if almost fortunately he recovers. And quite unexpected, Wilchz is once again starting off strong. Ignas claims the spawn entirely for himself, allowing him to decrease the cap. It is now a 2-point difference. Which opts to use a super speed wall hit sort of strategy. And very quickly the tables turn, and it's now Ignas who is leading the game. Which opts to go on the red platforms in order to reach the spawn. Ignas uses his super speed to launch himself over the wall and reach the spawn. So far we're seeing a good performance from both players, but Ignas is the one who is leading. Ignas just barely doesn't reach that gem. And it's likely that Ignas is going to win, although there's still enough time for a comeback, considering that all of the gems are yellows. The 20-point lead is more of a 10-point lead. So anything can still happen. Which is a super speed to reach that gem. Ignas just barely fails to get the one on the red platforms. They both reach the spawner at around the same time. And it's starting to look like it's game over. It may be game over. They both do some questionable mistakes. But it doesn't really matter, as Ignas has a really commanding 20-point lead, 12 gem lead. And this game is going towards Ignas, but it could have very well been another win for Wilchz. Alright, this is round 3 of Ignas versus Wilchz. We are currently on rounds revamped, Wilchz's pick. Wilchz starts off with Wilchz sadly misses the blue, allowing Ignas to approach it with to reach it with care. And get another blue, 2 blues in quick succession. Ignis, which messes up the timing of the blockers, allowing Ignis to claim that one as well, and very early on we have a 10-point lead. They both share, they both get an equal share of this pawn. Get a look at the third blue of the game. This time it goes to Wilchz, and the point gap goes down to not goes down. Wait, no, it did not get smaller. Ignas just barely missed that blue allowing Wilchz to claim it for himself. Wilchz uses a super speed to go for the red. He barely misses. This is quite an interesting match. Seeing both players overdose on super speeds, Ignas claims that blue for himself. This is still a close game. Wilchz gets a favorable position for this next pawn. The lead has shrunk to just 8 points. And it is possible that Wilchz can take the lead. And he closes up the gap, almost. Still a 4-point lead for 5-point lead for Ignas. Opts to go for the rest of the spawn and doesn't go for the blue, which turns out to be a good decision, as the lead gets smaller by 3 points. Was just barely not in time to claim the blue, and the lead goes back up. So far it is pretty intense. Both players are using a lot of super speeds. Ignis continues to lead this game. Ignis prefers to go for the rest of the spawn instead of the blue. I'm not able to see the point differential. Which messes up, and Ignis claims the blue, and the lead has reached 20 points. Wilchz claims some of the gems of the spawn, and the lead goes back down to 16. It is interesting to observe that Wilchz has started to implement Blast Gamer now. He also manages to get this next blue. Wilchz decides to go for the expired gem, which results in him not being able to chase the blue. Ignis is leading by a pretty considerable margin, and we are entering the final minute of this game. Wilchz misses the blue on his first attempt, but gets it as he falls down. As he falls back on the. It's getting quite dire, as the lead is still somewhere around 15 points. As 25 seconds remaining, and I believe this is game. Sometimes you go too fast to sometimes players just go too fast to be able to control themselves, and Ignis wins this game again.
Ready, set, go.
Alright, Ignis reaches the spawn first, as Wilchz bonks into a wall early on. He also gets the blast, which will come useful later on. He uses it right away to send Wilchz away, and quickly builds a 10 lead. Gets one of the yellows, misses the other one by a small margin. And early on, it is very noticeable that Ignas is very much dominating this match. Which appears to be stuck in the middle of the map, which is very relatable. In that both the players are stuck. Which has a little bit of time to reach. Which is a blast to send Ignis away and reaches the spawn first, getting the most essential points. And the lead has shrunk to around 10 points. Ignis barely misses that beautiful hit to reach, which is a super jump to reach that yellow. And Ignis 39 30
Set. Go.
Alright, the game finally resumes. And with a default lead of 39 to 33 for Ignis, the game will continue till we reach the 1 minute and 30 seconds left mark. So far, Wilchz starts off strong compared to his previous start. Keep in mind that a 6-point lead for Wilchz indicates that he's tied. So removing 6 points off his current score means that he's in a 6-point lead. So far he's doing very well, and if he maintains this lead for the next at least a 6-point lead for the next 90 seconds, we will get to a randomizer draft. It will be very interesting to see, as we had so far at least 3 matches this week that had went to randomizer. It is really visible that Ignas is not in the same shape as he was pre-crash. Which starts to beg the question whether or not the crash was actually beneficial or not. Which chooses an aggressive style for this round. Ignas manages to get both of the yellows, and the lead is 8 points, which is equivalent to 2 in this case. Wilchz really needs to get himself together quickly, because he is now actually in deficit due to that crash. Ignas is now technically 3 points ahead. And it seems
he
like
can't pick up power-ups. Or whatever, or not power-ups, gems. Or wait, huh? He said something in chat.
I don't know what happened there. I saw that. And that would be